Hello everyone, it's me, Juan Gamer 54, back in another video. Today, well, I will say this. I originally was supposed to be releasing a an Easter type of video, but then just when I was about to do that, I see that MatPat released part 2 of the Cooking Companions. So I figured you might as well just call me Quicksilver or the Flash because I am going to make the review immediately. So, without further ado, let's get on it. But before we do, I just want to say one thing to you guys. Happy Easter. That's just about it. Happy Easter. Alright? Hope you guys have fun today. Hope you guys enjoy. And with that being said, let's get to it.
All the rest, they're still afraid to enter this room, too traumatized to come to grips with it. Why do you think Cabbage wanted you to play so many games with her? She wanted you to remember what happened here. And now you're talking to a potato, and obviously you're not remembering anything. Goodbye. For now.
And you see, that's what happens when you talk to a potato instead of me. Here, you may not remember, but I certainly do. So
I still can't believe that's the
those
voice for that
blanks.
potato.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Game Theory, the show that would never think of eating its friends, because it doesn't have any. But hey, you can become a friend of the channel by hitting the subscribe button. Don't worry, you're not within stabbing distance or anything, so everyone wins. Last time
Not
we
really.
began to dissect the tasty lore hidden inside
Not
of
really.
Cooking Companions, a game that begins as your classic dating sim visual novel and ends with an anime knife fight set in the basement while an audience of sentient vegetables root you on. Also, cannibalism. A lot of cannibalism. And although that was already plenty, there's even more going on beneath the surface.
Really?
Last time we discovered that our 4 companions were actually refugees escaping from Ukraine during the horrible famine known as Holodomor. We also
Yeah.
figured out that we play as the old hag Baba Yaga, a character from Slavic folklore who asks you one question and then eats you when you answer wrong. Spoiler alert, these guys answered wrong. But even that doesn't appear to be the whole story. Although we appear to be the Baba Yaga, it seems like there might have been more Baba Yagas before us. There's one key line from our talking vegetable friends that makes it seem like if we lose, our cannibalism companion Karen will take our place.
Chumpettes, we can't allow Karen to take over the cabin.
Plus,
Oh.
inside
Karen. Okay, so that's how they spell it. Still, we're not gonna let her take over. Heck no, I'm not allowing that. Heck no, we will not allow Karen to take over.
cabin are hidden notes that date back hundreds of years to the late 1700s.
Really?
Leading me to believe that maybe we haven't actually been here forever as the Baba Yaga, but instead are possessed by the spirit of her. A spirit that has passed from person to person over the decades. That at least was my theory. My initial theory. But could I prove it? What actually drew us into this cabin? What is our backstory? Well, to explain all of that and to truly understand what's going on inside of this game beyond just the feast of flesh, we have to talk about the Chompettes.
Oh!
These guys are all over the artwork for this game, and you can see why.
Oh,
The
boy.
kawaii little edibles lighten up what would otherwise be a completely grim horror story of starvation.
Okay, that they did not hold back with the imagery. God, my goodness.
Inside
Come
the
on,
story of
man.
the cabin. In total, we have ourselves 5 key members of the Chompettes. Cabbage, leader of the group who likes to organize games for the others to play. Onion, the comedian, though not sure calling us Stinky over and over again is actually that funny. Bread, the lover of puns, the vaguely threatening Raspberry, and the grumpy, non-participatory Potato. There's also frequent references to a missing 6th Chompette, Cornbread, but he's not around anymore. Throughout the game, these guys pop in to make jokes, unlock new recipes, and generally comment on your declining mental stability. So, are they real, or are they just figments of your imagination? Even the player character asks this question the first time we encounter them in the game, and the answer is unclear at best. No one else seems to see them, and when we begin to pass out towards the end of the game, the characters seem to phase in and out of existence. Feels pretty obvious that we're just going mad, right? Then again, they can
Yeah.
also keep drawers shut, slam doors, and have even made mouse holes to travel unseen throughout the cabin. Plus, we're told Potato blocks those same mouse holes with rocks in New Game Plus, so they're not not only able to move rocks, but also apparently can't pass through them. Well, the answer to what they really are seems to come at the end of that New Game Plus. After killing an enraged Karen down in the basement, we actually get a little cutscene that shows her lying on the ground, eyes widening as she dies, only for it to then cut to the Chompettes welcoming in a new vegetable Turnip to the group. Though this new Chompette is labeled as a he, the editing makes it very clear that it's meant to be Karen. But then why would
Really?
she, of all the people, become a Chompette as opposed to everyone else that we've seen die throughout the game? Mariah, Gregor, and Anatoly all die in the game, but they only haunt the cabin as spirits. They don't form some new food group meant to chase us around, so what's going on here? Well, several times...
Yeah, why did Karen get to be brought back as a talking fruit? Meanwhile, all the other ones, all the innocent ones, get turned into ghosts that's haunting the place.
Throughout the game, both the spirits of our dead companions and the Chompettes make mention that, quote, those who die in the cabin are bound by different rules.
The rules are different for people that die in the cabin. The
Oh.
lucky ones are dead when cooked.
The important word here is in the cabin. Earlier in the game, Mariah and Anatoly both leave the cabin in search of food. These moments are emphasized by a little jingle and the explicit words, character has left the cabin. Pretty hard to deny what's going on in those moments. As for Gregor, our third companion, well, yes, he does die inside the cabin, it isn't by our hand. He's been cut to pieces by Karen. Mariah, Gregor, and Anatoly are haunting the cabin because of our guilt, but Karen died inside the cabin's basement from stab wounds we inflict, which is why she then becomes a Chompette. This in turn suggests that all the other Chompettes must function the same way. Previous victims of the Baba Yaga also murdered within the confines of the cabin. During the
Ouch.
hide-and-seek section of the story, we find Onion in the bedroom, and he tells us this.
I'm sorry to hear about Mariah, Anatoly, and Gregor, but yikes, that's 3 people gone in less than a month. Not as bad as 5 people in one night, though, right?
5 deaths, 5 Chompettes.
Wow.
Pieces seem like they're falling into place. We even get this line from Onion during the fight with Karen in the basement.
Just finish this in one swift motion, like with Potato.
We killed Potato in one move, something that Potato confirms during his ending.
Looting it from my corpse and hiding it in a drawer. Murder and theft in one day.
Wait.
Excuse me, what? Hey, come on!
Drawer. Murder and theft in one day.
Wait, what? His knife? So far, we've seen Cabbage refer to it as our knife, and we only ever asked Karen to give us back our knife, but it was originally Potato's? This is where things really start to get interesting. I mentioned last time how Potato really is the oddball of the group. While all the rest are willing to play along with Cabbage's games, Potato regularly stays silent, or else kills the moment with an offhanded comment, bringing everyone crashing back down to reality. In one of the game's many endings, he says that you should both leave the cabin to feast on all the people of local towns together. He also is the one that gives us the slaughter stew recipe, the
Yeah,
only
you did mention
outright
that.
cannibalistic recipe in the game. On top of all of it, during one of his survival lessons is an in-depth analysis of the Harris-Benedict equation, which calculates how people starve to death. You know, a totally normal, not serial killery thing to do at all. And if none of that was explicit enough, Potato even says,
I wouldn't miss a killing for the world.
this was his cabin. Potato was the Baba Yaga before us.
Oh,
Remember
great.
those notes that I've been mentioning from around the cabin? The ones that you can only get on certain days in certain places after multiple clicks? Well,
Yes.
the last note we get tells us this.
June 26, 1862. Another body of a child was discovered within the city of Zakopane, with the remains
What, why is it with... Why is it always dead children in these games? It's always happening. FNAF exclusive, FNAF mostly, and including Hello Neighbor and all that. What is it with games these days, man? I'm kidding though.
stuffed into a barrel full of potatoes. This marks the 4th victim by the butcher of Zakopane in less than a month.
Potatoes, you say? That's not the only connection to our good friend Potato either. During the Chompette cooking courses, another post-game mode made available after you get your first ending, while the others are reminiscing about school, Potato tells us that he dropped out of grade school so he could work at the butcher, to which Bread replies,
Explains everything so far.
Potato was the butcher of Zakopane. As Onion says,
I wouldn't call it a change of heart, because it never really had one potato.
and we know we can't be the butcher. Based on another of the hidden notes inside of the game, we know the butcher was, at one point, summoned to court. But as Potato himself says,
It's a shame you never went to trial for anything.
but then, who are we? How did we get involved in all this? Well, we
Yeah.
were part of the original group of kids that become the Chompettes. During the final fight, Bread asks us a very interesting question during our fight with Karen.
Why did we come here again? So that explains Potato.
Notice the use of the word we. We were a part of the group with Bread at some point. Potato, meanwhile, was an outsider. In the appetizer
Okay.
preview edition of this game, you and Potato have a heart-to-heart, and he outright tells us this.
I cornered the four in this basement room, and all of us ended up dead. Cabbage, onion, raspberry, bread. They're still afraid to enter this room, too traumatized to come to grips with it.
Potato, as the butcher, was about to kill everyone. And you see, that's when you step in. In the main game, we have an opportunity to tell Karen about the Chompettes. And when we do, this is her response.
A potato is killing people? They asked you to save them? What the heck does that even mean?
In short, we killed the butcher of Zakopane with his own knife as he was killing our friends. And in so doing, we got possessed and became the Baba Yaga. But
Okay.
how? For some reason, we weren't gathered into the basement like the others. We had the chance to kill the butcher when all the rest of our friends were helpless. So what made us so different? Well, I suspect that the butcher was training us to become like him. Throughout the game, we act as Karen's mentor, introducing her to the world of killing and cannibalism. We show
Wait,
her
what?
books about chopping people up, and we get lines like, she's not ready yet. She is meant to become our cooking companion, at least until she gets a little bit too enthusiastic and turns on us. And I suspect that the butcher was training us up in a similar way. In our various conversations with Potato, there seems to be some level of friendship between our character and the killer. He asks us to go into the basement and
Put an end to this. Not for the Chompettes. For me.
we also get hints throughout New Game Plus's timeline that Karen and Potato would have made great partners in another life. Out of all of the kids that he planned to kill, we were singled out as special. We were meant to be his pupil. As you might imagine, being a one-man cannibal is a lonely life. Getting to share that with someone else, though, priceless. But when our friends started getting killed, we had to act and slaughter the man who had taken us under his wing. Except what we didn't know is that that would force us to go on and continue the Baba Yaga's legacy moving forward. So, there you have it. The deep lore of cooking companions. Except
What? Ugh, my brain is hurting me. My brain's hurting me.
one final layer to the story.
What's going on?
One final chompette that we need to discuss. Cornbread. As I
Yeah.
mentioned before, Cornbread is the missing sixth chompette. One that we hear mentioned a lot, but never really see until the game's final, most secret ending. We know from in-game clues that Cornbread's real name was Raziel and that they were related to Onion. Being a chompette, we also know that presumably they were killed in the cabin and that we consumed their body. But there's something that makes Cornbread different. Unlike all the other chompettes, we've let Cornbread move on. During the endgame of New Game Plus, Cabbage asks us if we'll let the chompettes go, and we say no.
Will you let us go? Someday, maybe.
And yet, for some reason, we've allowed Cornbread to pass on. Why? Well, we know at some point that we've actually stopped killing. During the post-game,
Okay.
Potato asks us this.
How many generations died brutally at your hands before you gave up? Was it your arthritis that stopped you? Or did you eventually feel remorse?
I think it was the latter. I think that we felt remorse, and it was Cornbread that did it to us. Now, to be honest, based on this message that I found on Discord, I'm not even sure the creators of the game have fully mapped this out, but based on everything that I've seen inside of the game and everything that we covered so far, here's what I think happened. After
Okay.
the night where our friends die and we kill the butcher, we become possessed by the Baba Yaga. Some time passes. We're still in the cabin, alone and hungry. But then, a new child stumbles in. Someone we know. It's Onion's relative, Raziel, looking for his lost family member. We bring them in and they stay for a while, telling us countless puns, just generally being fun and bringing joy to our otherwise lonely life. Raziel gives us hope, shows us that there's no need for us to kill, that we can become normal again. But eventually, the hunger sets in. It can't be quelled. It can't be stopped. We resist it, but at some point we succumb to the Baba Yaga's need. We kill Raziel in a
No.
moment of weakness. He wasn't meant to be there. He wasn't meant to die. We just couldn't help ourselves. Out of regret and out of self-loathing, we eat him. We eat every last piece of him. And then we let him go because he was innocent, because he reminds us of our weakness, because we can't bear to keep him a prisoner. We let him move on, and we keep all the other chompettes here with us, too afraid to be left alone. We keep the rest of the chompettes here because they don't come with the extra burden of guilt. And so there you have... Oh, the developer just tagged us in a tweet. Wonder what this is about.
What?
A black image? You know what that means. Crank up the exposure, boys.
All right.
Shadowy figure holding a knife with 4 people. Cabbage, raspberry, onion, bread, and the shadow of potato. Beautiful. Chef's kiss. Now all we need is that cornbread origin story and we're all good. And with that, my friends...
Wait,
put a
really?
wrap on the delicious...
They really said Game Theory that. Really? Huh. Well, look at that. You nailed it, MatPat. You nailed it.
lore of cooking companions. So remember, the next time you're at the store and the vegetables start talking to you, don't just tune them out, give a listen. You might just have made your new best friend, and eventually a salad. But hey, that's
Yep. Turn them into a salad. Hey, I'm sorry, brothers, but I'm hungry.
just a theory. A game theory.
Okay, well, I guess that's the end of the video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like the video, comment down below what video you want me to see next. I'm taking requests, anything you want. A reaction video, or whatever you wish you want. Maybe horror or whatever, you know? And oh yeah, subscribe to the channel. We're uploading content by the day. So yeah, this is OneGamer54 signing off.